Welcome to the lab where genetics collide. Reptiles everywhere with colors amplify. The morph so wild, they'll twist your mind. Patterns like art, every scale is defined. In the reptile world, we're raising the bar. Discover new genes, then combining them all. Creating foundations that make our brain shake. Insane combos that hit like an earthquake. Genetic canvas. Paint the dream. Make a dream where reptiles glow and the visions gleam. Tune in now, let's raise the ceiling. The best reptile podcast starts in 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us this episode of the Genetic Canvas. I'm Jared with Gem Exotics, and we are here to break down the Java mutation with you this week. So if you guys missed last week, we covered the Messiah mutation along with other new mutations featuring mills from the reptile pit. So if you missed that episode, definitely go back and catch the replay. But for you guys that did miss it, I got this quick recap.
So that's the Masai single, and that's the Rust single. So, yeah, you can see
I
how
would
much
say-
redder the Messiah is, even in the alien heads right there.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go grab that. So the you want to see that girl, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
we'll get her out live, but I'll just leave.
So make sure you guys go back, catch that replay, comment hashtag replay gang, leave a like on that video. And also, if you're here joining us tonight, drop a like on this video for us and leave a comment in the chats. At the end of that video, that Bambino combination was actually a combo from a hitchhiker that was picked up out of another pairing from a female. So definitely go check it out. It's interesting and it really interacts well with that Bambino gene. So just wanted to shout out this merch tonight. Up on the hat, we got Tony at Hardwire Exotics. I saw that he had the Gem Exotics colored hat, so I had to grab it. And if you guys didn't know, Tony is a custom maker of some fancy, I'll call them spoons, because I'm not really going to show anything off on here. I am going to show you guys this beautiful handle, though, because it is an ivory snakeskin handle, all handmade with a Damascus steel on the front, which you eat off of up there. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, go ahead and give him a look. But I wanted to shout him out because that's a baller hat right there. And on the shirt tonight, we want to shout out Mike and Melissa at Proxima Reptilis. If you guys ain't following them, make sure you go and give them a follow. They're working some awesome projects and utilizing shed testing to their advantage. So shout out to them for the shirt, and make sure you guys are using shed testing as well. Right up here with Phenome Shed Testing and shedtesting.com. Tonight is going to be really fun. I definitely have a lot of questions about this mutation. I've seen some of it, and I love its interactions, but most of it that I've seen was in the piebald mutation. So we're going to see exactly how it differs in piebald tonight, and also outside of piebald and a lot of other combinations. And joining us tonight to go over those mutations with us is the founder himself, Mark Mandic. So let's welcome him to the stage. How's it going tonight, Mark?
Good, Jared. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for joining us tonight.
My pleasure.
So can you give us a little background about the Java mutation, around when you found it and how it popped up?
Well, it was in my collection. I'm not sure where it came from. I'm assuming it came from one of my adult females that I ended up buying early in my career. I bought some adults from Greg Graziani and some adults from Pete Hall. And I kept on noticing some of the babies had different characteristics to what a regular normal would be. And just with patterning, richness of color, and they were just very different. I didn't think really that much of it until I started putting it into combos. And that's when I really noticed, some drastic changes. And probably the most drastic change was in Piebald. You had mentioned Piebald. You'd seen it in Piebald. But,
Yeah.
there were, when it was just a Java Piebald, that was one thing. But when I bred Java to Java to produce a piebald, it produced something completely different from just regular Java piebalds. Java piebalds are they look exactly like piebalds, except the saddles are way richer in color, way deeper chocolate in color. But then
They're a little slightly busier, right? Just slightly,
yeah,
but not anything that would be noticeable to the general eye.
exactly. And so then I produced one that was really, really dark. There was no patterning. It was just white snake with deep, rich, almost black chocolate coloration in the saddles. And
Mm-hmm.
I had Brian Barczyk here. He came and did a tour of the place several years ago. And he just called me up out of the blue and says, "Hey, I'm going to be in Toronto. Can I come?" I was, "Sure, of course. You're not going to say no to Brian Barczyk, for God's
Yeah,
sake, right?"
definitely.
And Brian and I were friends and everything anyway, so it'd be great to see him. But he came up and I started showing him different snakes, and I brought out the Super Java Pied, and what he said to me. He said, I go to a lot of facilities and I see a lot of snakes, and people are always saying, "Hey, this is a so and so and so and so, and there's a new mutation, whatever." And he's like, "Okay," but he said, "But this is real. This one I think has a lot of promise." And that was that was very encouraging words. It's not an expensive mutation. I didn't feel like it was justified to say, "Okay, now we got a mutation. Let's just charge big bucks for it." It's an accent mutation, and 9 out of 10 people, if they saw a regular Java, probably wouldn't know it was a Java.
Yeah.
But when you're comparing animals side by side, you start seeing differences and characteristics of the Java. So it's kind of like a mahogany gene type or a chocolate gene type snake. The difference is the super version on its own, when you have Java to
Yeah.
Java, it really doesn't, it might be slightly richer in color, but as far as pattern and all that, it doesn't do what super chocolates do or super mahoganies do or so on.
Yeah, it doesn't
Uh,
fit the fold.
no, which I kind of liked. I thought that was a bit of an advantage, because if you want a snake to do one thing, that's your snake. If you want to enrich color, then that's your snake. And whereas if you had the other genes that had a super, you could never breed, like a chocolate to a chocolate and still get that enrichment of color. You're going to get a super chocolate.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think I was very pleased about that.
Yeah, that's nice. And I do like the subtle differences that it makes in the pieds, and I feel like in the pieds is where it's the most subtle, and in
Hmm.
combos it's pretty well spoken for itself visually. I do have a couple of things to show off as far as
Hmm.
comparisons of a single gene pied and a Java pied, but while you're here, I wanted to bring you out first before we said hello to the chat. So I just run through real quick saying hi to everybody. Don't waste too much time, but I like to shout out everybody that comes live
Hmm.
so to support us. So if you guys are catching the replay, come out live next Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But what's up, Mitzi? Appreciate you coming out. Third Coast Constrictors in the house. Proxima, got you on the shirt. Tiger God Morphs in the building. Appreciate you. Dwight the Pied Man. You're gonna see some nice pieds tonight. Christopher Walker in the house. Appreciate you. Jason Philp. Who else we got in the house? Sacmo's Exotics. 319 Reptiles, Dickie Foster in the house. We got Static Morphs, Eddie in the building. And let's see, we got a lot of people in the chats. I think there was like over 100 comments already. So I'm scrolling through. You guys are all cutting it up. Snake X215, appreciate you coming out tonight. Sammy Vargas in the building, show sponsor in the house. Travis TS Reptiles in the building. Thank you for coming out tonight. Who else we got? And we got Third Coast Constrictors, and I don't want to mix it up. I know there's a couple of Third Coasts in the chat, so we appreciate you all coming out to join us tonight. And if you guys are interested, I know this week we don't have a guest host, but we do offer guest hosting opportunities, so check out that banner running below while we continue this episode. Drop a like and drop some more comments. Ask about this Java mutation, because we got the man that answers the questions here tonight. And let's get into it. I'm gonna pull up those comparisons of just a regular piebald and a Java piebald to begin with. So first off, we got the Java pied. So that is the Java pied. And then to switch it over here, we have just our regular pied. So what you can see there on the regular pied is the saddles are a lot more, I would say, reduced of pattern. The pattern is pushed up more into like that stripe going down the dorsal. You get a little bit less pattern, but it is a higher white pied as well. It's harder to find good examples of kind of regular pieds because a lot of things have head influences and stuff nowadays, but typically you're gonna get kind of like that striped look on your piebald with real smooth looking saddles. And then that Java pied really just chops it up, wouldn't you say, and gives that richness like you were talking about, Mark.
Do you have a picture of just a regular Java? Did you grab one of those?
Yes, I do. And I wanted to do that real quick. Here is a regular Java, and I do have one that is, so this one is, I think, the less expressive one. I had a question on the other one, but would you say that's a single gene Java? Good
Yeah.
expression?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very, like you said, chocolatey, mahogany-ish, but when you get to the super, you really don't see it. And I wanted to show off this one other Java that I had also a question about. I think you work a lot of Cinder, I know that. I was wondering if this was a Java Cinder.
No.
No?
Cinder? Did you say
Yeah.
Cinder? I don't work with
Or
Cinder.
mahogany?
No. I
Java
do,
mahogany?
see, that could be a super Java or a Java, but you
Oh,
can't
okay.
see a difference. And you see the hooks,
Yeah.
and you see the dorsal striping with the holes in the striping.
Yep.
Okay,
That's kind of
that's
what threw me off and made me think mahogany Cinder complex was like the
no,
floaters and everything and the striping.
no. But when you see those hooks, um, that is a telltale sign. That's what I was seeing, because Java is a pattern mutation as much
Mm-hmm.
as it is a color mutation and an enricher. And so looking at all those hooks in that, and when you take a snake like this one we're seeing on the screen and put it next to a normal, there really isn't a comparison.
Yeah, it's way different.
Way
It
different.
even jumps out in comparison to that other Java that we had just shown. That's why I
Yes.
had to ask if there was another mutation from that other complex in there.
No, not at
Okay.
all. Yeah.
So I wanted to show this one here is a pastel Java, just a pretty
Hmm.
simple combination for everybody to see.
Yeah, very simple.
Those actually age pretty well from what I saw, and I have that example here as well. Whoops.
Yeah.
And the pastel patterning really plays into that Java with the hooking and the stretching up by the dorsal.
Yeah, and really, the Java has influenced a pattern immensely here. I mean, if you didn't know that was, um,
A pastel.
pastel,
Yeah.
like pastel, that's not a pastel pattern. That is all Java pattern. 'Cause
Yeah, and it's
I
very
don't.
dark.
Yes, and yeah, very rich.
And usually when a pastel ages, it gets darker, but as you can
Mhm,
see from baby to this size, which is probably only like 300 grams, it's lightened up.
mhm, mhm,
I like
mhm,
that. Found
mhm.
that to be interesting. So I wanted to do this real quick. It's gonna be quick and easy, but I call it the genetic appraisal. And it's just gonna be 10 questions to give this its own morph score. And it'll just kind of be a fun little game. But on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you rate the Java's single gene look?
5.
Okay. And same thing, it's all going to be on a scale 1 to 10. How would you rate the dominance of its pattern and combos?
I'd say 7.
7, okay. Now, do you feel on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being no necessity to 10 being a high necessity, that there could be a need for shed testing in the future?
I would give that a 5 as well.
Okay. And why would you give that a 5?
Well, I think, it's not a gene that people are gonna be, running out and getting, um, like other genes out there. It's a if it was a spice, it would be pepper.
Yeah. Do
You
you
know?
think that it could be hard to see it in some combos?
Yeah, yeah, it could be. Could be.
And what's a good example of a combo that would be harder to see it in?
Well, probably a super Java. It could be harder to see in pastel. It could be harder to see in clown, or some of the ultramels and things
Like your
like that.
triple dark project.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That one I got some pictures of, we'll go over later too, unless you have the animals. So the next question is adult color and contrast retention, 0 to 10.
What was the question again?
0 to 10, adult color and contrast retention.
Retention. Oh, well, they don't change. So, I mean, they stay as rich, so I would give that a 10.
Okay. And then how about market demand?
Mm, I would give that a 4.
Okay. Needs to get up a little bit, right?
Well, yeah, but
All
I'm
right.
being realistic.
Yeah. But project compatibility across the board, like a morph that doesn't mix well with a lot would get a low score.
Oh, I think the compatibility on the Java is probably sitting at an 8.
An 8, okay.
Yeah. Everything it touches, it makes better.
Yeah, I like that, and I agree. I definitely agree, and we're gonna see a lot of that in this episode. So I'm gonna kind of reword this one, but the question is life expectancy of demand, but I'm gonna reword it and say expectancy of innovative combos. Like 1 would be a year and 10 would be 10 years. Do you see it innovating combos through 10 years or
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah?
I think when you see what I've brought here tonight in the live snakes, you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been kinda quiet on the morph, because
definitely.
it's not one of those genes that you post a picture and say, "Wow, check this out." It's just not that. But what it
Hmm.
does, what it contributes is pretty impressive in my books.
Yeah, and I feel like early on, wasn't there a big debate about it being similar or too similar to leopard?
Never heard that one. No,
No, okay.
no,
I
maybe
just
other people were, but I didn't get involved in that
and I
conversation.
don't think it was like a bad debate or nothing. I
Right.
think it was more so just like the single gene in PIDES, where it was comparable to like how leopard is hidden in PIDES and Java is kind of less seen and noticeable in PIDES. I think that's all it really was.
Mm.
But as you guys saw with those comparisons, if you're looking for the right things, you can see it in PIDES, but it is more subtle. 0 to 10, importance of Java in your breeding plans.
In my breeding plans, I would give that an 8.
An 8, okay.
Yeah.
And the genetic health and durability of the mutation itself, as far as, you know, some mutations have some issues. Does this one have any kind of issues?
10.
10, no issues at all. And we kind of touched on it a little bit, complex genetic compatibility. So I'm going to just leave that one out because we already said project compatibility. So while we're going through this, I'll end up adding up the morph score and I'll let you guys know what the Java ended up scoring at. But we're going to continue this conversation into just some other questions that we have. Actually, let's dive into those animals here. I do want to show off a couple more of these pictures that we had loaded
Sure.
up before we get into the live animals.
Okay.
But watch these guys because these are really nice. And you may have seen these online, but if not, that is a Java leopard interaction. I really love that.
Yeah, and when you see something like that, you then have to think, okay, what if that was lavender? What if that was ultramel? What if that was, candy? What would that look like transferred over? The leopard, which is a dark rich gene, and the Java dark rich gene. You're hoping that would just amplify the brightness of the yellows and the oranges, and that's the way I think when I plug it into projects.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that actually richened that leopard
Yeah.
even some.
Hmm.
And for it being like a double up of dark mutations, that in itself is a little surprising. And like you were saying about the super Java, I do have the one picture that we pulled here, and that was labeled as super Java.
Hmm.
That is different to me from even the Java single gene. I mean, it seems noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah. It might have been a better picture as well. You can see it's on a white background, but it definitely, the gold is richer in it.
Yeah, and it almost has, I mean, you see the rings in the back in that photo pretty well, but they're almost they're very, I don't know, they're just very aberrantly shaped. But the alien heads seem pretty uniform as far as them being like that, kind of tighter at the base and more bubbly at the top, similar to
Hmm.
like a Krypton alien head.
Hmm.
And how many supers have you produced over the years
Oh
back
God,
in the day?
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to give you a number.
Was it a good amount though?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it was a big enough um, sample base for me to say, okay, this is definitely different
Gotcha.
from the base. Yeah.
Nice. I got a couple more here too. So this one I found to be very interesting. The spot nose Java.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like a headstamp eraser almost, where it wants to overwrite that spot nose
Mm-hmm.
headstamp in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of influences the blushing and then the side pattern. But oh man, how it just distorts and twists the alien heads, where Spotnose tends to want to keep alien heads very kind of up and down vertical and tight and in a line, so to say, like in a row lined up. And you can see the Java there just kind of wanting to stretch and pull, where the Spotnose wants to kind of contain them.
Yeah. And you can see the dorsal striping as well is very classic Java.
Yeah, it's very broken up and like dog bone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then even where it's striped, you still get like those kind of fat bubbles where you can see those bubbles, like the outer, you know what I mean, where you can kind of
Yep.
see them if they were separated where the bubbles would be.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy. So, what's your favorite spot nose Java combo that you've made over the years?
I don't really have very many spot nose Java. I mean, spot nose was something I started working with relatively late. And I haven't really gone in that direction with the combos with spot nose and Java. I'm mainly putting it into, I love it in lavender. It's probably my favorite in lavender and lavender pieds, the dreamsicles
Yeah,
combinations is what the favorite direction because I want to, I like orange. That's kind of what I do is try to produce the most orange snakes, and it lends itself very nicely as an enricher in that department.
it really does.
Hmm.
Yeah. Have you hit a Holy Grail Java yet?
I've not. I actually am not working towards a holy grail. I don't.
Towards the clown side, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
don't have any. I do have a clown. What do I got here? A clown Java Wookie, which, two dark genes with the clown. And it is a year old. So it's a 2024, actually. But I'll show that one to you last.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Super Java, I know everybody's curious about that. We were talking about it, so let's bring it up. That was the Super Java, but let's see the Super Java Pied. Sorry, that's the one I was looking for. So the Super Java Piebald is here.
Yeah.
And when that popped out, I'm sure you're like, oh yeah, that is different.
Yeah,
And you were like, do I
exactly.
have something else?
Right. And what's interesting is that snake just got darker and darker and darker with age. It was
As
almost
opposed?
well, as opposed to, fading out. Like the browns became almost blacks as,
Okay,
as
because
it
I
aged.
seen another one, it got more oranger as it got aged, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think is the difference there? Just polygenics, just with the trait?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's
That
so
one.
much variability in all these mutations. And that one was probably taken at a very young age.
Oh, okay.
So that one there would have darkened.
Gotcha. Yeah, from the pictures of the other snakes, I'd say that's probably like a 500-gram snake, roughly.
Mhm.
5 to 7, whereas this other one here is definitely over 2K.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. That's interesting. Hmm. So it kind of ages like wine in the sense of darkness.
Well, I mean, ball pythons generally darken with age anyways, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the in glaring faults is that, we're always searching for, ball pythons that get better with age, and they will get better up to a certain point, and then they'll start fading out and getting, browning out, as people say.
Yep.
Now, I feel we're turning the page on that. There's a lot of genes out there that are helping in that department. That's for sure.
Hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it was the turning point back when like the Firefly and stuff was starting to get really crossed into a lot of directions, especially, excuse me, the DG stuff early on, like the GG or the Exanthic early on, the Exanthic Fire and the Exanthic Fire pastels and stuff. It's like after that and seeing all these animals really develop into these amazing adults from that Fire mutation, because Fire was the original DG before DG was out. And then before DG was Desert, you know, it went Fire, then the Desert Mutation, and then Desert Ghost was kind of ruined early on by the Desert Mutation. But it's like everybody around that time when Fire was really mixing into things, we were all starting to breed for those adults that held that color and just looked better and didn't brown out. And we're really getting there in a lot of projects. Like you look at all this really bright stuff like you're producing with the oranges. It's like that. Those animals never fade. Those things look amazing into adulthood. It's like I got a creepy crawler machine from my, you know, 6-year-old Christmas again, except they actually get to crawl around out of the incubator.
You know, it's interesting. You had said that there was Desert and then Desert Ghost.
No, I can't remember exactly. No, Desert was after DG, right?
Yeah, and
But
that
Desert had messed up DG on the market when everybody
yes.
found out that it had the problems and stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, I remember seeing my first Desert Ghost. It was on the Nerd
Yeah, that was
website,
way early.
way early. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that
I
was with the
was
caramel.
that was to me the most mind-blowing snake that I had seen. I absolutely loved the snake. And then Desert came out, and you know, Desert did some amazing things, some
Yeah,
mutations.
the tiger, the Desert
Um,
Enchi, and everything.
for sure, but then when it had its problems, everybody kind of thought, oh, so a Desert Ghost is an actual desert hypo,
Hypo, yeah,
right?
and both mutations suffered.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, I always said that I wish they had named the Desert Ghost something different because it wasn't a ghost. It just
Yeah,
wasn't. And I always thought a great name for uh, that gene at the time would have been Ice. The ice,
ice, yeah,
the
because they kind of
ice
ice out
ball.
over time.
You know, instead of a snowball, it was an ice ball. Um, So, but, you know, we gotta live with the names, and I believe I'm not sure who named it. It was either Nerd or,
Either Nerd
Mark
or the Bells.
yeah, the Bells, yeah, because
Yeah.
they both had I got my original Desert Ghost from Mark Bell,
Hmm.
and, I actually made a deal with him over in Europe. I was over in Germany, and he was there, and I said, "You know, I wanna get some" and I bought one there, believe
Oh,
it or
wow.
not. Yeah.
It had it shipped over?
Well, he brought it back to the
Oh,
US
okay.
and then had it shipped to me, but, yeah, it was, I absolutely love the Desert Ghost. It's one of my favorite jeans.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you know, that's the reason why they have caramel pop up in their DG stock because a lot of that DG originated with the Bells.
Yep.
And once caramel had its issues and lost its market value, the hets went unlabeled into a lot of the market, you know,
Yeah.
because if you labeled it back then, Desert Ghost het caramel, nobody would buy it. And they would just start looking for the one that wasn't het caramel. And a lot of DG het caramel got sold as unlabeled.
Yeah.
And I had somebody reach out recently asking me about an animal that popped up in their collection. There is a slight chance that it was rainbow, but the only other possibility it could be is caramel. And so I think they're waiting for the shed testing and stuff to figure that out. But it would be interesting for them to have rainbow, but the odds with the DG and everything and how often it has popped up over the past decade in people's collections and breedings, it's likely more so to be caramel.
Well, I hatched out something, the end of this year. It was one of my last clutches, and, it came from a banana, breeding, but
Oh,
it's not a banana, and it looks either caramel or ultramel or something along those lines.
mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm gonna get them shed tested and see. I mean, do they have a shed test for banana?
Um, I'm not positive they have one for banana, but I
Right.
know that they have one for almost every albinism trait,
Okay.
and I know that the other shed tester is releasing caramel and rainbow soon. I saw.
Okay, and what is rainbow compared to Like I really, every time I've seen a rainbow, I've really liked it. It reminds
Yeah.
me a lot of candy
Yeah. So
or toffee.
rainbow is what's, I mean, from what I understand, it's known as its own mutation, not compatible with any other albinism trait.
Okay.
And I feel like it's been underworked for the most part because I know of it having issues on the visual female side, kind of similar to caramel,
Okay.
where the females can reproduce, visual females can reproduce, but they have a higher likelihood of slugs and a higher likelihood of failure to thrive after the babies hatch if you don't
Hmm.
incubate them a little lower, kind of like a super black pastel clutch. And I know this firsthand from my experiences with the rainbow that my buddy got from Dave Palumbo's collection. We had actually cut a clutch of all rainbows, hypo rainbows, on a live Instagram feed that I did, and that entire clutch ended up passing away just from failure to thrive. And you don't want to breed them too closely. You want to breed like hets to visuals or hets to hets to kind of mitigate that relationship and not breed too closely, because that's kind of the theory, is that they were just kind of inbred too much early on, but the likelihood of it being something just genetic is high because of the other issues with albinism traits.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And I think that's why it never really took off, because it's honestly, when I saw a rainbow in person, it blew my mind. I was like, there's no reason that this mutation shouldn't be all over the place.
Well, it's the same as the candy toffee morph. There's
Hmm.
no issues with that morph whatsoever. I mean, I've candy to candy and produced 100% candies, all healthy animals, and but it did. I think it took off very early on, but it just didn't continue. It didn't have legs for some reason, and I think they're one of the most beautiful mutations out there, and hardy, very hardy. Man, they grow and they're aggressive
Yeah.
feeders.
In the candy, it's really an untapped mutation as far as the adult changes go, because, they look one color as a baby and then they change into an adult, but we always look at manipulating a baby's coloration, where with a project like that, we can really look at the long term of how they're going to look as adults and kind
Yeah.
of manipulating that end result of the ontogenetic color change. Because, like the mimic mutation, I don't know if you've heard about that, that actually derived out of the Rainbow Project with
Okay.
OTB pythons. It,
Right.
it, it ended up being an incomplete dominant.
Mm.
And he thought it was a rainbow. He thought it was banana, but then it proved to not be either. But it was confusing at first because it popped out of the rainbow babies and stuff. And the history is a little confusing, a little gray, but I know that when they're babies, they look like a banana or a rainbow. And then as they age, they caramelize and they turn into like a really rich toffee, like a really colorful toffee.
Mm.
So it'll be interesting to see how people try to work a project like that, because
Mhm.
you don't know how they're really going to end up looking in the end result.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest, and I know we shouldn't be talking about other genes. We should be back on the Java. But the biggest thing about toffee is when they hatch out, they look like albinos. They don't even look like lavender albinos. They look like albinos, and they do change dramatically with age for the better. I mean, if you look at a toffee or candy, let's just call them candies. If you look at a candy as an adult and the lavender that exists within that snake compared to lavender albinos, there's no comparison. I mean, they're way more lavender and way more contrast. But
Yeah.
you have to wait 2 years, 3 years before you really see it. Whereas, the most vibrant um, albino morph as a baby, and especially when it's crossed into different genes, as you'll see here, is lavender. You know, and let's face it, we sell most of our snakes as babies, and
Yep,
right. So if you can show something that's a couple months old that's super vibrant, you're going to get that sale. But if you show something that isn't, and you go, yeah, but wait 2 years, people aren't interested, right? They want it now. They want satisfaction now.
for sure. And that's why a lot of people don't want to sell them, or they don't want to start marketing an animal when they get to that 100 grams. They want to take a picture of it out of the first shed, and maybe not necessarily market at that picture out of the first shed, but that's more than likely the picture that most people are posting up, that followed by a couple of others. But I see that a lot, because those tend to be the brightest, most vibrant times when the snake, before they start getting into their shedding phases and taking on that color, So we got Dwight the Pied Man in the house saying candy is next on his list for sure. I don't want to skip over any of these, so I wanted to show this one off. This one was real interesting. So that's just a pastel orange dream with the Java mutation, and I mean, super rich. When I was messaging you about the genetics on it, I'm like going back and forth on Enchi, because the separation between the darkness at the top and then that bright yellow kind of blondness showing through the bottom of the alien heads, but the pattern not overtaking more of the black area, and with them being thicker, I was like, yeah, definitely no Enchi in there. So I was glad I got it right, but that's an Orange Dream pastel Java, and Java almost thickened that pattern up as well as the OD did.
Yeah, I think OD takes more credit there in cleaning the pattern up, for sure.
Cleaning it up, yeah, but I mean thickening it, making
Yeah,
it
yeah,
wider. Like the
yeah,
Java interacted to help that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting one. Somebody in the comments says it looks cantaloupe. Kind of cantaloupe has a similar pattern to that, but that's
Okay.
just a single mutation. And that's probably like pastel cantaloupe or something. I have to do a mutation episode with that for sure.
That would be Antoine.
Yeah, DPR.
Yeah.
It's a great day in the forge. We appreciate you coming out. So here's another one here for everybody to look at. This is a Super Orange Dream Java Fire. So we're going up another level of Orange Dream and adding fire.
Now, I'm gonna say
Scrambler.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna ask.
that's before
Yeah,
I knew about Scrambler, right? And looking at it now, I'm gonna say yeah.
when I
Go
put that
Scrambler.
on my notes, I put
Yeah.
Scrambler question mark, so I remembered to ask you, because that screamed Scrambler to me when I looked
Yeah.
at it, especially with the tail stripe and the color shift. And
Yeah.
Fire and Scrambler for me interact so nicely. I love Fire Scrambler combos. But the Java here, though, is really boldening up that dorsal stripe and kind of giving it relevance again. Because without the Java, I feel like you're going to lose a lot of the color, a lot of the contrast in that dorsal stripe, and a lot of the thickness of it,
Yeah, and now if you compare that to a Super Orange Dream Scrambler Fire, it would be a way brighter snake. But because it has Java in there, it's making it darker.
For sure. Yeah, that's an amazing animal. I love how bright the head stamp is, and it's like burnt out on the back. And you can really see that richness from the Java coming through those burnouts and that blushing. Love that. So I wanted to do this real quick. So there's the Java pied, and then here's a leopard pied. And leopard pieds are typically going to be your higher white, and they're gonna have some of that dark edging and stuff around the saddles and a little bit more choppier look, a dark saddle here and there. So, but they're pretty unique even still when you're comparing the two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Java Pied, can you see a consistency with them being kind of mid to higher pattern over high white?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so just wanted to give that comparison for everybody. And then that's an older Java Pied so that you could see how they kind of darken and richen up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That kind
compared
of
to
reminds,
just the,
go ahead.
compared to just a regular pied, you can really see the richness in the saddles and
Yeah.
the pattern. There's more of a defined dorsal stripe, whereas a lot of pieds have a parallel dorsal stripe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has a lot more patterning that drags down from the dorsal stripe, whereas what you're saying, like a typical pied has like the stripe with the black stripes paralleling
Mm-hmm.
down side of it and then just
Yeah.
kind of like washing out to a normal pattern color below that.
Yeah.
And this really gives me, like, I was gonna say, like autumn color vibes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's where that richness comes into play. And then this animal, the Super Java Pied, we did those. You do have some animals you said from the triple dark clutch to show off, right?
The which triple
This
dark?
one here. So it was a Wookiee clown to leopard Java clown, het clown.
Right.
And what you were suspecting there is probably the Wookiee Java on the top right. And did you ever confirm or deny if there was any kind of Java in the one on the left?
I think the one on the left is a Java
Leopard.
leopard clown,
Okay.
and the
No
one
Wookiee in that one.
no, and the one on the right is now I don't know if that's a Java Wookiee clown because I've got a Java Wookiee clown here, and I don't know if it's that
So
animal.
I got some comparisons here so we can do it.
Okay.
So here is a normal Wookiee clown.
Okay.
So I do believe that the other one is Java Wookiee.
Okay.
Just because, and you got to call it the Jabberwocky, you know?
Jabberwocky?
Yeah, that's like those dancers that wear the masks, the
Okay.
Jabberwockies.
The Jabberwocky.
I was
Okay.
just kidding because it's kind of similar. But the Java Wookiee there, I feel like that looks very Java Wookiee-ish
Yeah.
on the right.
Yeah.
And then I did find a Wookiee leopard clown that we can do a comparison to what you think is the Java clown, because I wasn't sure, I didn't run it by you. So I was thinking maybe you thought it was a leopard Wookiee Java clown, but here is just a leopard Wookiee clown.
Okay.
So I do see the darker tones and the darkness and the lack of blushing in the other one that you have in the clutch there. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
wrong one. Yeah, much darker. The pattern's a lot tighter, a lot smoother, similar to the coloration in the one on the right. So that's a very interesting interaction.
Yeah, I mean, now that we're on this, I can show you the one I have here, which is Java Wookiee Clown at 2024.
Awesome.
If you want to see it.
Yeah, let's pull it up. I'm sure everybody's waiting for the live snakes, but we got to get through some comparisons and stuff. It's all a learning experience.
Let me just switch cameras here.
All right, so get you. Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The color is really interesting on that.
Yeah. I mean, the richness is, it's so, in my opinion, it's just so perfect because you've got the blushing, you know, all the way through, but it still radiates this incredible richness, you know, through here.
Yeah.
And It's
Java wants to pull all those alien heads back to the belly too, connecting them all.
Yeah.
We had a question here. Has there been any pairings done to see if Java and Stranger may be close or allelic?
I don't know if I've done Stranger to Java. I'd have to look that up, but off the top of my head, I can't think. I don't think it's Stranger because
Yeah.
I've produced, especially when you're looking at Stranger pastels, completely different from Java pastels. Completely different.
Oh yeah, definitely. But we know that things can look really weird and still be allelic, so
Oh,
it would be interesting to
yeah,
find
no,
out.
it would be very interesting.
I
Yeah.
mean, who would have ever thought GHI and lace were allelic, you know?
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, they found out through testing that they're allelic.
Yeah, that's incredible because they're not similar whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So with that, can you show us kind of the belly there where the alien heads connect on that one and kind of her side? Oh yeah, that's interesting. So the coloration really lends itself to like this, that would really lend itself to a Mandarin combo really well.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I could really
Oh,
see some
yeah.
Super Mandarin doing some work in a combo like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I've got some examples here I can show you of some pretty rich snake. So you want me to just start pulling out some
Yeah.
all right.
Is there a project direction that you haven't worked it into that you think it'll make a meaningful impact next?
Um No, I've pretty much put it into, all the projects. I mean, when you look at the recessive genes, um,
Do you have it in any puzzle?
I have not. No.
Okay.
And I mean, I haven't even produced a puzzle yet. I mean, I'm so late on that, and it's not a gene that is a high priority for me.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, everybody seems to be in it, and if you're just constantly, if it's almost like a dog. We call them squirrel dogs. It's like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. I mean, they're looking in all different directions.
Yeah.
Staying focused is really important. So this is just a, you know, plain, straight, rich Java. Plain and
Yeah.
simple.
And you can see the difference. Can you hold it just a little closer to
Yeah,
the camera for everybody
yeah.
and stretch her out just a little? So yeah, you can see the differences in, excuse me, in the normal patterning and everything, and the color really. I really want to see a Mandarin, just even a single gene Mandarin Java combo, because a lot of times when Mandarin interacts well with something, just a single gene on a single gene stack shows it,
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. I, I'm
oh
not
yeah.
I'm not invested in the, Mandarin project. I figure, there's only so many orange genes I wanna work with, and,
Hmm.
again, I'm not at a point in my life where I'm planning, uh, because honestly, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to do this, sort of thing. I hope I can do this for a long time, but
Uh-huh.
I'm also at a point where I'm like, "Okay, I've gotta focus on certain projects, and that's the direction I'm gonna go."
For sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Do you have any sunset in your
I do
collection?
not.
Okay.
No sunset. I admire those people that are working with it, and they're doing a great job. Steven from Leviathan, has done a great
Yeah, they're
job.
doing good work with that.
Really, really good work. Steven and Courtney. Probably more Courtney than Steven, if you wanna be honest, don't tell Steven that. Um, But it's great. I love seeing it. It's just I can't be in every project because it will. Who wants a Java mail, and he'll get it. Satchmo's Exotics.
Carl, yeah, he wants one.
Yeah.
Dwight
So
said the color on a single is great. Yeah, I agree. So we're about to see this color in some amazing combos here soon. He's
okay.
about to
Well,
show us.
let's.
We'll work it up slow though.
Yeah.
We're killing them, and I like it.
Okay. Let's do a.
I'm gonna give you guys a teaser real quick though. A colorful teaser real quick. A screen layover that we can just kind of talk about real quick.
Okay.
Because this is the ALS Cinnamon Enchi Java Banana, just to give everybody a little color pop on their screen. I mean, you could
ALS.
just, yeah,
What's
the
ALS?
amazing allelic act like super.
Okay.
Enchi and cinnamon are allelic.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything 8-ball complex with Enchi is allelic. It's in the complex.
Okay.
So that animal there is a homozygous.
And
Powerful snake.
I mean, and you look at the orange in that. I mean, try and find something that orange in banana.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so orange that the head stamp almost gives you like a flame vibe, where it's like burning out on the head. I would say it kind of looks like a bull or like horns or like some kind of a silhouette. But that color on that animal is just amazing, and that's just the ALS Cinnamon Enchi. It does increase a lot of color, but it can be dirty, so the banana's cleaning that up, and then that Java richness is just coming in and just kind of tearing it apart into a whole nother level of like fluorescence.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, let me see what else I can do. Okay, so this is a Java Yellow Belly.
Okay. That's got to be kind of wild and choppy in the sides and the alien heads.
Mm-hmm. I gotta see if it'll zoom in a little bit more there.
Yeah, lots of color. I mean, yellow belly, as we know, really increases reds in the flame, but mixing with that Java mutation, I mean, those flames and that color is amazing. Can we get it a little closer in the flame? Yeah,
Oh,
that thing is.
let me see if I can. There you go.
I mean, it's coming across well. I'm just like, yeah, I want to see it closer. Could have some fun with combo names. Yeah, the Java chip you were saying. I wonder what combo that would be.
The Java what?
He said, have you named a combo the Java chip?
Java
Like the
chip?
coffee.
No. No, but that's where the Java came from. Java, basically people call coffee Java, and it had a coffee, nice rich coffee color, to it.
Mm-hmm.
Any Hurricane Java, Mark? Not yet. No, not yet. I don't.
Yeah, we had that one.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, Sammy must have been asking the snake that I had on the layover, so I'll answer
yes.
that. That was a cinnamon enchi banana Java, Sammy.
So we're gonna cross that one out. Now let's
And
go
yeah,
with
the yellow belly interaction it's really amplified with the Java. I like that for a simple interaction.
and the pattern. I mean, the pattern is fantastic in this.
That's what I mean, like the
Yeah.
choppiness and
Yeah.
ruffles. It's like ruffled edges.
Yeah. Now let's do.
It's like a bag of potato chips. You can't just have one either.
Apparently not. Okay, so this is Java Orange Dream. And again, most orange dreams are more orange, but this is very rich. And it has manipulated the pattern greatly.
Yeah, and unlike the pastel version we looked at before, it plays a lot more into the darkness of the Java with just a single orange dream.
Mm-hmm.
It gives a lot of that gold accenting around the dark, kind of granity, speckly, not granity, but more like peppery, speckly, kind of inside of the alien head. It's all kind of outlined by that gold.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Especially up on the dorsal.
Okay.
Could definitely see yourself working Java into dark side projects. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You got to pick
definitely.
some up.
Okay, so let's go with number 11. So this is,
There. Oh, wait, that ain't it.
in my opinion, a Java scrambler. Hold on. Let me move him down there. There we go. You see the tail?
Oh, yeah. Yep. You can definitely see that interaction. And I love how it has the very distinctive, in my opinion, scrambler tail striping,
Yes.
where it's like the dashing of the tail stripe and it gets thinner and thinner
Yes.
from normal.
Exactly.
That's like a classic. That for me, like even on an Orange Dream Scrambler, it still has those weird little tail stripes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like a normal OD combo, it usually just has like maybe a little tail tip stripe, but the Scrambler brings it back up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And can we see the side of that belly line where like the Scrambler lifts it and chops it all up even more with this? Because this really probably plays into all of that. On the other side, it was showing a lot more heavily. Yeah. Yeah, see, the Java really likes to drag it down and connect it still. And I noticed that in a lot of the other combos too, like the Wookiee. You know, Wookiee's one of the most floaty patterns, reduced kind of alien heads that there is. And the
Mm-hmm.
Java wanted to drag it down and tower it out from the belly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a key thing for me to pick up on, because in a lot of these projects where you're getting so much lift and not enough drag to where it's creating like this big kind of separation from the pattern in the belly, it's like maybe Java can bring that pattern shape back in.
Okay, so I'm going to show you now. This is a Java OD scrambler. Okay, compared to
That's wow. Say the genetics again.
let me just pull that back so we can see.
So Scrambler, Orange Dream, Java next to
Yeah.
Orange Dream, next to Scrambler, Java.
Yeah. Yeah, 11. I've got these. Yeah, Java Scrambler. So this is Java Scrambler.
Mm-hmm.
Java OD Scrambler.
Okay. And can we see the tail on the OD version as well? Because I really like pointing out that tail striping on the Scrambler stuff. It's like so key for me. And
Oh, it is.
then,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
it's really a key identifier.
it's like the last third of the snake is a different gene.
Yep. It like wants to be almost a little more normalized in the dorsal striping, but then it wants to be all stretched and lifted in the tail.
Yeah.
And that's where the old, you know, back in the day, everyone's like, oh, this is low white calico. This is low white calico. And it was sold as low white calico forever. And now we know it was frickin' Scrambler all along.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got Levance in the chat. Thanks for checking in. But yeah, it's a great example, especially how just the one copy of OD really turns it up. But then when you mix it into that combo, it's just incredible.
I want to make sure I put these guys back in the right tub so I don't get them mixed up here.
Vance and Wesley said, "What's up, Mark?"
Hey, Levance and Wesley, how are you? I did a podcast earlier today, and we were talking about Levance, and I said, "How do you pronounce Levance?" I always say Levance, and they said, "Yeah, we really like it the way you say it." So, Levance, if you've been saying it wrong your whole life, just follow my lead.
Just pick it up.
Yeah, yeah. So let's look at. a super orange dream Java scrambler. Okay.
Super Orange Dream Java Scrambler. Okay. Now that's interesting. And I want you guys to just compare because I have the layover for that animal with the fire gene. So that's with the fire and that's without the fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I mean, just how much fire really magnifies the pattern and like blows it up. And then without the fire, how kind of tight it is. And
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of keeps it in that middle bar, that middle lateral pattern area.
And
I know
still,
I say
you know,
some weird shit sometimes. It's all right.
but it's very, very, like, the richness is unmistakable, right?
For sure.
If that was, you know, just super orange dream scrambler, it wouldn't be as rich, and it wouldn't have the same pattern like the
I have
Java.
a question.
Mhm.
This might be controversial, but do you think that like the deep orange line of stuff is like Java mixed in with Orange Dream?
No,
No? Okay.
no, the high
Just a thought.
the high
No, like the
intensity.
deep orange line. Yeah, because like
I'm
something's
not
making them
familiar.
deep orange over blonde, right?
Well, I can show you some deep orange.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah.
let me just mark that one off the list.
Yeah, Java does
Uh,
take over every time in these combos for sure. But you
mhm.
still it still allows some manipulation as far as letting those other patterns and colors show through.
Now I'm going to show you one here, which is a piebald Java. I believe it's a piebald Java mahogany, and just reach down.
Love how the Java adds the grunge back to the Super OD clean sides. Yeah, it does. A little bit, but not in a bad way, like you're saying.
So if you look at that animal versus this animal, which is a piebald super Java.
Okay. So that's the Super Java Pied, and then the other one you think is Java Mahogany Pied.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it makes more sense because mahogany mutes things out a lot more, especially on the dorsal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there's more
And it's
definition.
richer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. And I was gonna say the one that looks like you were saying is half mahogany. It looks like it's, it's duller because of that mahogany. If it was a super, because the only other thing it could be is a super Java, it should be much more orange and
It would
richer.
well, it would be way richer. It'd be way darker.
Yeah.
I've hatched out enough, super Java pies to know the difference. And this one,
Oh, not that one.
yeah, it
I was
looks.
trying to show that other one here. This one. Where it's
Mhm,
kind of got that nice oranges and stuff,
mhm,
and it's like the one on top has that nice oranges and everything, but that one on the bottom's like half taken away.
mhm.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, let me put this guy.
I love the look of the Super Java Pied though, with how it still leaves the distinctive dorsal pattern and everything and it wants to give you a little bit of alien heads coming in on the
Mhm.
sides, like little kind of leaf litter, but I feel like you could definitely bring that back in somehow with like maybe some blackhead and stuff.
And that's piebald OD Java.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can really see how the OD thickens up the black markings along the side of the dorsal and it mutes out the stripe.
But it also gives it more orange.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got here? So we put that one.
Now, question for you.
Mhm.
In that Super Java Pied, does it lack the graying of like the piebald neck?
Yeah.
it does lack it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Because not a lot of mutations in piebald lack that gray. It's hard to get rid of it. I know for a little while there were a few breeders that were just trying to find combos that didn't have gray in the neck.
Well, I'm looking at it here, and it's, well, I don't know if you can really see, but it's more of a dark.
Yeah, it's real black, real dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Sammy's
is
asking something about MJ. What about MJs that you produced? Oh, that Sammy produced. Yeah.
what
Look,
about
I
him?
was telling Sammy that the MJ Xanthic piebald male that he has when he produced this clutch that I want babies from, I was like, bro, that 100% looks like it's got Java in it because there's nothing else that it could be. It's not leopard. Definitely distinctively didn't look leopard. So, I mean, reach out to Mark with your pictures, Sammy.
Yeah.
He'd probably be happy to look at them, you know?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
mainly your male. Send a picture of that male because that's going to be the easiest to tell.
Oh. Okay, where'd number? Oh, there's number 6. Okay. Don't want to lose any of these guys. Hold on.
No problem. So we got a banner here for everybody. If you guys get a shipping window, make sure you guys are saving 65% off an additional label at Redline Shipping using code SELECTIVE65. And while we're waiting for Mark, I got one more special announcement that I was waiting for everybody to really be tuned in before I dropped it. But our sponsor, Jim with Ectothermic Dungeon, is offering everybody watching a special 10% discount off your entire order using code DUNGEON10. So make sure you guys are checking out his morph market and getting that discount if you see something that you want. Back to you, Mark.
All right. So that, as you can see right here, that is Orange Dream Java Pied. This is a Super Orange Dream Java Pied.
That Java really richened that Super OD. I like that a lot.
Okay, well, if you like that,
I mean, I just like that as a base like so much because it's a different shade of orange, you know?
and this is
It's not really that fluorescent.
This is the next one I'm going to put up here. I believe is a piebald Java Super Orange Dream Yellow Belly.
Okay. Super Orange Dream Yellow Belly Super Java, you said?
Not a Super Java, no.
Just Java,
No,
okay.
no, yeah. Yeah. So you can really...
They're going to add a code for 10% extra. That Yellow Belly Super OD, I really like that though. I mean, Yellow Belly, if anybody doesn't know, what you mainly look for is that really jagged, choppy, pixelated edging. And some mutations, a lot of people will try to argue that it eliminates it. And Super OD Enchi is one of those combos that people like to say it really takes it away. But if you look at the belly on those combos, you're still going to see that pixelation around the edges. It just pushes it closer to that central scalation in the belly, the ventral scales. But it does soften it up a little bit in combos.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of like the tall tale for Yellow Belly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this guy is rich. And I believe he's het lavender as well, so that's the direction I'm going. I haven't shown you any of the lavender.
Could be brightening him up a little bit, because if anybody doesn't know, het lavender tends to be like a little bit of an enhancer.
Okay, that's number...
Do you see that in the Java stuff? Do you see het lav being strong enough to enhance Java sometimes?
I've not noticed that, but again, I haven't really looked for it.
Yeah,
So,
it is a strong dark mutation though. That's why it probably could overpower it.
Okay, 7.
Hey, Mark,
Yo.
I'll answer your question. I helped him figure that one out. We do believe it's Java and Enchi because when he produced a clutch, I was assuming a lot of his babies looked super Enchi, but upon another few breedings, it proved to not be super Enchi, but threw a lot of these dark Java-looking animals. So that's kind of where we came to the conclusion of it's likely Java in that male.
Okay, I gotta find. Where the heck is this? Sorry.
Damn, that sounds like a problem, Nick. Only 2 V70s and 4 snakes coming in. Hopefully they're not all adults.
That's not it.
And yeah, het lavender can clean up some things. It just adds sometimes a little bit of an extra like brightness, but nothing that's usually too critical.
Okay, this is one of my favorite. This is a Java Super Orange Dream, and I think Super Scrambler.
Yeah.
So I can't verify it's a Super Scrambler, but I mean it's the way it's showing up on camera isn't the way the snake is orange. On
Yeah.
camera it looks yellow, but you can kind of get an idea of what this animal looks like.
I would totally agree with you on it being the Super Scrambler in that combo because what we all know from Super Orange Dream is a very bottom to top mutation, meaning like the alien heads like to fully connect at the base and they like to go very high to the dorsal. Same with when you super it, it just overtakes the entire pattern. And then, you know, the Java, as we've seen throughout this episode, really likes to bring those alien heads back down and connect them to the belly. So if you can lift that one up for us, Mark, and show us all the lift to that pattern, that can speak for itself as to, why that looks super Java or super Scrambler there. And the Java seems to just be kind of tightening it back up to like individual alien head bubbles and not letting it chain out.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite snakes. I think it is het lavender as well. So let's get into some lavender stuff. So this is a piebald lavender Java. And again, I'm not super pleased with the
Do
color.
you have a setting on your light to bump it down a hair?
It's as down as it will go.
Try it with it off,
Yeah,
just for a second.
okay, let me do
Because
that.
the brighter snakes sometimes just translate way better without it. I think that'll adjust. And
Yeah,
be good.
that looks more accurate now.
For the bright ones, at least, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks
much more orange.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what do you see the most with Java patterning and pied, like the albino stuff? Just like thicker, kind of more whacked out, open voids, like where the blacks would be. Those little white markings on the pattern are a lot thicker and more wacky.
Yeah,
And
and
then the
also
richness.
the richness going like to the edge here is where you see the Java. This
Yeah, kind of cresting.
It's very, very rich. No, I've got some really cool ones here.
I did have one in here too to overlay.
Like this.
Orange Dream, Enchi, Java Dreamsicle. You were going to show something?
Yeah, so this is just a Java lavender.
Oh, that's an interesting pattern. I like how it has the one circle with between the two stripes down the dorsal there. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Can we see a little bit more of that albino's pattern, the albino Java's pattern? It's just very unique. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lavender?
Oh, that's hold on, lavender. Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure they're going back in the same slot they came out of. Yeah, there's just Lavender Java.
Yeah, I like the pattern on that. I like how how stark the contrast is between the white and the yellows, but the yellow is what the yellow and the richness from the Java in the alien heads is what's really setting it apart. Because, you know, back in the day, I think high contrast, like single gene albinos before lavender and stuff were around, was like the epitome of albinos. You know, you wanted the leopards and you wanted those real dark black and yellows, but now you're looking at that animal and it's like you get those whites, but it's almost an orange. Harder to see in the camera, obviously, but it's a very orange animal in person.
We did. That we did.
Yeah, Sammy Vargas, Ball Pythons, he produced some scrambler combos that are triple het for snow pied, Xanthic lavender snow pied.
Wow.
So shout out to Sammy. Those are some nice animals for the future.
Oh, absolutely. All right.
Got to get some Java into that project. Well, he probably does have some in there.
Okay, so this. Hold on, I just gotta.
Right, just
to the bottom of my. Okay, so these are. This is a.
I think that's one I may not have a picture of, but a similar picture too.
Lavender, piebald, Enchi, Orange Dream, Java.
Yeah, that thing is crazy. Orange Dream, Enchi, Java, Lavender, Albino, Pied.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I do have, I think, a picture of. So this is that
Yeah.
the same snake?
It probably is, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's just a kind of better picture for you guys, but that shows you kind of what we're looking at as far as like what they would look like in a picture
That's another one
versus
there. Yeah.
on screen there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not really that far off. It's really doing good.
That picture is very, very accurate color-wise. Yeah.
Yeah, those things are beautiful. I mean, the one's just a little bit more blonde. What was in that one?
They're both the same.
Okay, gotcha.
Both the same. And the best one here. Okay. This is my favorite.
That thing is insane looking.
Yeah,
Can you get a zoom on that? It might do best. Yeah, that's like the starburst look with like the really kind of reddish pinks and everything. And now is that leopard and Java mixed?
No, there's no leopard in it. That is lavender, piebald, Enchi,
Okay.
super orange dream, Java.
Oh wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
No possibility of super Java?
No. No.
Well, no, it couldn't be because that's like an all dark saddle snake.
Yeah.
Have you ever produced any pied super Java pieds with pattern, or just they're all muted like that?
No, they're all pretty muted. Yeah.
Okay.
Now there is a chance, a slight chance, because the father of this snake, I picked it up from Justin, and he said it's also possibly a mahogany. It was sold to me. It was sold to me as a super Enchi dreamsicle, super Enchi, super orange dream, lavender pied, pos mahogany.
Okay.
And I don't have a lot of experience with mahogany, so, But so there is a really good chance that this might also have mahogany in it. It did
Yeah.
not. It did
Gotcha.
not prove to be super enchy, which is fine. But if it ended up proving to be mahogany, that would be a bonus. But yeah,
Well,
this is
since it's only a single copy of Enchy, Orange Dream doesn't tend to give high coverage. Mahogany does, though. So
okay.
I feel like it. I mean, right away when you pulled it out, I thought it was like a stack of a dark mutation with something else. So
hmm
we'll see. I mean, what did you pair it with? What did you produce that first time around?
Well,
Or I mean, what do you? How do
this
you
is
know it's not super Enchy?
because I produced some other snakes in the clutch that didn't have entry in them.
Oh, okay. I got you. The dad wasn't a super Enchy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. And it was
That's cool.
probably the mahogany in the male that made it look more super enchy than it was. So
And that's kind of like what I was saying with Sammy's MJ Xanthic Enchy male, pied male. You know, it looked almost super Enchy pied,
hmm
but I think it was that Java in there because it wasn't mahogany. I mean, I saw the animals and it definitely wasn't mahogany or nothing else.
Yeah, I'd like to see pictures of them. I'm sure Sammy will send me some.
Yeah, it's a really awesome animal for sure. So let's see here. Is there any combos that you intentionally avoid with the Java?
No, nothing. I think it enhances everything. That's why I'm working with it so
Yeah.
heavily. Yeah.
I mean, do you plan on working the super pretty heavily going forward? Do you feel like there's a lot of ground there?
Oh, definitely in the super Java pied form. Yeah. I mean, I have some other ones, but they're adults in the adult room, and it's very convenient for me to just pull these out of the hatchling room because it's in the same building as my podcast studio. So,
Okay.
and the bigger ones don't show up as well, you know,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Harder
So,
to get in frame too. But you do
well,
got that nice zoom and everything.
I've got a rack right beside me on wheels that I had manufactured just for this purpose.
Just for this
So,
show.
well, absolutely, just for this show, Jared. I woke up this morning and I said, "Hey, I need to
I need
get
to
on this."
special order this.
So there's the tubs, as you can see,
Oh yeah, that's cool.
right, and they're all,
All right, I'll pull you
they
up.
got a number on them, number 6.
Uh-huh.
So when I have a list, that I have right here with everything on it, and when I go to put these snakes back, um, where they live in the rack, is all labeled as well with the same. I have little
Yeah.
magnetic strips with the numbers on them. So as I'm picking the snakes to do on the show, I put the magnetic strip above each tub showing
Nice.
this
I
is
know
what
you do that for yourself, but I mean, that is amazing preparation and it helps a lot with the show too as well. So, I mean, unknowingly, I appreciate that as well. Not that I knew that even was going on, but I like that little rack setup. That's cool. Um, so is there any preference of having it on the male side over the female side or vice versa? No, you're
no,
not
not
afraid to spread it across your collection or anything?
no. Well, I'm going to put this light back on because
Oh yeah, no worries. So this was an interesting animal I found.
yeah,
Super Orange Dream Java Scrambler Hypopide.
yeah, one of my favorite snakes. Absolutely, it's amazing.
I got an airplane, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
No, I mean, the colors on that is just amazing. And obviously, the hypo is really intensifying the oranges. But that right
Mhm.
there, I mean, the oranges on that snake saddles, like crusting the edges of the saddles there where the white is kind of separating them,
Yeah,
it matches. It's better than your logo orange. Like,
yeah, I agree.
it's hard to make a snake that's better than your logo orange.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen them out there, but I think that has something to do with the photography. Um, but that is a true, and that's why I put my, logo there, so you can see it is exactly, it hasn't been manipulated in any way to make it more orange.
Yeah. And the Java pattern, I mean, is Scrambler and the Java, because the Scrambler is really what's lending itself to the pattern with all of those alien heads coming off of the side of that stripe. But the Scrambler, I mean, the Java is really what's ruffling all the edges of it.
Oh,
And, you
and
know,
enriching the orange.
yeah,
If it wasn't for the Java, you wouldn't have that
but
richness of
it's like
orange.
a contrast of orange, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, because like without the Java, it kind of would almost blend a little more, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad you brought that picture up, because it's probably one of my top 5 favorite snakes I've ever produced,
Uh-huh.
because I love hypo and, obviously, I love scrambler, and I mean, that is a piebald, and you talk about you can't produce that pattern in another snake with scrambler unless it's piebald, and that's the
Yeah.
beauty of, the scrambler gene with piebald, because a lot of people are, they're kinda not that interested in piebald anymore, which I think is, well, to each their own. You do you, I'll do me. But look, as I said, earlier today to somebody, I said, we produce these animals, and only about maybe 5% of the world has ever seen the animals we produce. And so we've got 95% of the population out there that still has to get educated. And you show them a piebald and they'll go crazy. Absolutely love it. Piebald to me is still the rock star
For
in.
sure. And with shed testing really leveling
Mhm.
out the game and,
Yeah.
kind of mitigating values of projects a lot faster than anything else ever has in our industry, I think that the importance of how a snake looks is going to be it's going to become more important than genetic stacking in a way very fast
Yeah.
because values will always be there on the high end, of course, but when the playing field kind of levels itself out across the board and double visuals are going to become the new pet standard as far as like hypo clowns and hypopides and DG clowns, like all those kind of middle range to lower range double visual animals are going to become, those are already starting to become the new $1,000 and lower or 500 and lower depending on the combo. So
Yeah. And I mean,
producing pretty snakes is really critical.
well, more now than ever, right? And
Mhm.
it's funny. I know that there's a lot of haters of everything, and I see people jumping all over the scrambler or whatever. And I'm like, hey, I don't care what you say about it. If you keep talking about it, that's good for the project. Just keep talking about it, because
Hey, it's in this industry since the birth of this industry. If there was a new mutation, there's always that group of people who doubt it, and there's always the group of people who are reserved, pay attention to it, pick it apart, decide for
Mhm.
themselves whether they want to work it as a mutation or not, And then there's the group of people who wait entirely until it's proven 100% and it's accepted across the board. And it's, which group you are in depends on your own artistic vision and in reality, you know, if a mutation was really there or not. And with Scrambler, if you really pay enough attention, it's there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But
And I
you
think
know,
that it was just misidentified and miscalled, and for so long that you know, when it was called a mutation, everybody goes, you know, I think I have that in my collection,
mhm.
and the likelihood is high
Yep.
because how long it's been out there unidentified, sold as low white calico and all that for years. It's very likely it's in a lot of collections, but now you have to validate it because you don't know the track record and the source that it came from directly, specifically. So you have to prove it. You can't just sell it as Scrambler without,
Yes.
so to say, proving it to the market. And I think that's the hiccup that a lot of people have.
Yep.
But you always have people who think that, you know, that's just not a mutation because where did it pop out of and why is it everywhere? Well, that's it. It's just like any mutation that's older that was a quote unquote hitchhiker for many years, spread through a lot of collections, got sold unknowingly, pops up everywhere after it gets discovered and named.
Well, you know, if you look at breeders, they always want to keep the best and the most brightest animals.
Yes.
Okay.
And they always
And
tend,
and
I'll
and
let
the,
you speak.
the guy that was so good at that was Ozzy, you know,
Okay.
and right. And if you look at when he had the Orange Dream, people were like, "Yeah, that's not a mutation." And now there were a lot of people that said it was a mutation, but you know, he had a real hard time selling Orange Dreams originally. And when he finally produced the Super Orange Dream, I remember he called me and told me he produced Super Orange Dream. He was super pumped. It took him 8 years, 8 years
Mm-hmm.
to finally produce a super. And he sent me pictures of him, and I said, you know, if you've got an extra male, I'll take it. And it was an expensive male, and I think I paid 10 or 12,000 US for it at the time. And that's a lot of money considering the difference in exchange to
I was gonna say
Canadian.
exchange rate back then was probably a bigger difference than
Oh,
now as
huge.
well.
Yeah. I mean, I was at one point, um, our dollar was worth 63 cents to the US dollar.
Yeah, I
It
remember doing exchange rates as a kid going over
Yeah,
to Canada for field trips and stuff. We went
yeah,
over to visit like the different chateaus and everything, the
okay.
castles, and
Mhm.
yeah, I had to transfer to loonies, and I was like, felt like I was rich because I went
Oh,
with
for
like
sure.
$30 and I had like 80.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and, but, you know, when he sent me pictures, there were these super bright, super orange dreams. Well, that's all we had to go on, was that they were super bright. We didn't know at that point it also had scrambler in it because,
Yeah.
you know, you show pictures of it today and people go, "Is that a Desert Ghost combo?" No, this was a super orange. Well, it wasn't super orange dream. It was super orange dream, but it also had scrambler
Yeah.
in it, and that explained the brightness. So, you know, as Ozzy kept breeding, as I kept breeding, we kept on keeping the
Yeah,
brightest,
the
most
best
reduced
quality.
pattern. I was very much in reduced pattern. I'm not a busy pattern kinda guy. I do like, you know, pattern of the super scramblers and that, but I mean, if you look at a comparison in pattern, pinstripe or monsoon, you know, super busy pattern. That's what I consider super busy pattern,
Yeah.
and it's just not my deal. It's not my bag.
Hmm.
But when we started producing these amazing super orange dreams to other amazing snakes that we held back that were also bright, and especially super bright orange dreams, lo and behold,
You
Scrambler was in
started
there, and that
hitting the
was
super
yeah,
scrambler stuff, and it
yeah,
became real obvious at that
yeah,
point.
very
Yeah.
obvious, and it became most obvious to me when I started crossing it into piebald. If you look at what the Java gene does to the piebald pattern
Yep.
compared to what the scrambler does to the piebald pattern. It's like completely different and makes a low white animal with
Yeah.
a pattern that's everywhere. I mean, my wife, I give her credit for coming up with the name, because when I showed her pictures of the snakes, um, as comparison, she says, "Yeah, it's almost like they scrambled it scrambles the pattern." And I went, "Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly." And hence, scrambled eggs was the name of the mutation, but that didn't stick. No, I'm just kidding. So we called it Scrambler.
I
Yeah,
do like to reference the edges of scrambler as like in comparison to the edges of a scrambled egg, and
yeah, yeah.
it just plays into the name, but it doesn't it wasn't intended like that. It's literally just a good descriptor, like when you're
Mhm.
scrambling an egg and how it just kind of spreads out on the pan, and it's kind of like that roughly wiggly edge, you know?
Absolutely,
And that's what you
absolutely.
get. It just kind of
Yeah,
scrambled edges.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to show some, not only just the, Java gene tonight, but also some of the scrambler stuff in there as well.
Yeah, for sure. Did you have some more animals to show?
No, that's it. That is
Okay.
it.
So I do want to give a special shout out to Isotope Exotics. When I was doing some Java research,
Mhm.
I came across
Yeah,
they
he's got some
produced
great stuff.
they produced a Scrambler Java Holy Grail.
Mhm.
So here it is.
Yeah.
So just wanted to give them a special shout out and congratulations on hitting that amazing animal. So triple visual, lavender albino, clown piebald with the scrambler and the Java mutations.
Yeah, and his pictures are amazing. He's such a great photographer. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I love all these amazing glowworms, you know? Just
Mhm.
like
I
that's
mean,
what
who
they
would have
remind me
thought?
of. And
I mean,
yeah.
we were talking before the show that you've been an admirer of ball pythons since you were 9 years old. I mean, I got into it when I think I was 40. Would it be 40? No, after 40. So it's 1999 I bought my first ball pythons. You were in it in 1998.
Yeah.
So
I
you're
I
what?
actually bred my first snakes in 2000 no 2000. I bred my first snakes, my first normal ball pythons, and then in 2001 I had my first clutch of eggs that I incubated in one of those old styrofoam
Oh
hovabators.
yeah. Yeah.
Some water on the bottom. You had to
Yeah.
open it up and pour some more after it evaporated because it got so warm in there. It was a process. I lost a couple, I hatched a couple, but it was fun.
Yeah, but the lengths we went to perfect this hobby,
Yeah.
right? And I thought right from the beginning, in order to make the hobby grow, you had to educate the people enough to give them the confidence to jump into it. And that's why, I did my first breeding page on my original website, and then I updated it on my second website. I still get emails today from people saying, "Hey, I followed your plan and I got my first clutch and whatever." And those are the seeds we got to plant, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how mighty a tree they can grow into.
Dwight the Pied Man said 1996 he started being amazed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, look at the longevity there. 1996. Geez, that's 30 years.
Yeah.
It's incredible, incredible.
Yeah, it's been amazing. There's been some ups and some downs. I think there was about four market crashes, so to say, crashes, market lows over all of those years, and I think that a lot of people are getting hit in the face with reality right now that COVID was just a big mirage, like
Oh, yeah,
people think that that was a normal in this industry where that was the peak of the industry. Nothing has ever peaked like that in this industry before, and
yeah,
we kind of suffered the fall after that, but then also shed testing came into play after that. So then we continued the slide with shed testing, kind of leveling off those recessive projects. So, you know, that value kind of just kept sliding and sliding, but we're hitting that bottom of the slide now, I feel.
Yeah.
And shed testing is still innovating, but we're not really, you know, it's not really pushing values down anymore. And the newer projects that they're discovering tests for now, really all that's going to do is just kind of speed up our innovations in those projects, because I think a
Hmm.
lot of the ones we're working on now are like less spread projects, less spread mutations, things that still have a lot of legs under them and stuff. So
Hmm.
there's
Well, we're
I f-
definitely producing the most beautiful ball pythons that have ever been produced. I
yeah.
mean, we really are. And it doesn't you don't need a big collection to do it. I mean, if somebody wanted to just have, 20 bins, they could do very well focusing on what they have and just, you know, going that route. You don't need 400 breeder females.
No. No. I mean, it's really smart right now, for a small breeder to, I'd say, build a really, really powerful collection
Mhm.
of about 35 females to about 15 males, and
Yep.
maybe like a three direction. I mean, like not three tight direction. I mean, like a three big direction projects, like, you
Mhm.
know, triple recessives with multiple codoms. If you're building a project like that, just a collection like that, like 35 to 15, you're giving yourself the right ratios, but the power that you can really put into those tubs right now is just incredible for the value, and I've taken advantage of that. So I look forward to being in a lot of these projects going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, and, pick a lane and be known for something.
Yeah.
Right? Just when something is brought up, you wanna think about a certain breeder,
Hmm.
so I think that's important.
And sometimes nowadays, it's almost like, how can you tell somebody to start off with just one lane, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different things, and you know, like ball pythons are like candy. You walk in, you're gonna see this one over here you want a taste of, and that one you want a taste of, and this project and that project. And
Mhm.
you know, you want all the ingredients in the kitchen basically with ball pythons. And how I am personally attacking like a growth is, I have my main projects that are going to be, you know, bread and butter no matter what, but then I have a lot of side projects that have some depth to them, but whichever ones produce and take off for me, those are the ones that are going to give me the depth and give me my direction to
Yeah.
take forward. And I'll work the other ones kind of as little side projects, but giving yourself diversity in the beginning and allowing your projects to kind of set your path for you
Mhm.
is nowadays somewhat of a better way to approach it as well. Because
Yeah.
I almost never had, I don't want to say never. I had some intentions, but I didn't want to start off in the G Stripe Clown project. But you know, one of my clutches last year, I ended up producing hypo ultramel G Stripe clowns all on the same clutch, and I was only supposed to get Cypress Kryptons and clowns that were possible triple het hypo ultra G Stripe, and got a mixture of them because there was a hidden hets on each side
Mhm.
for the opposites and all that. And you know, I took that and I ran with it, and I got into some quad directions with some, you know,
Yeah.
Krypton, G Stripe, Xanthic DGs, and you know, it just, you never know what's gonna unfold for you if you allow yourself to have different options.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and do what you like. I mean, it's you have to move towards what you like and move away from what you don't like. You can't be everything. You can't do everything. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
And it can pull you away from things like I'm
Absolutely,
saying,
yeah.
like if I have, 3 side projects and one takes off, then that's going to pull me away from the other 2 and kind of shelf them.
Yeah.
And then when I reach a point with that project, I might be growing and bumping up these other projects genetically behind the scenes. And then I might come out one year where I'm like, all right, I got this pair I'm putting together. Let's see what happens. And where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you got to do in this industry is come up with your own little quirky ideas and kind of work on them on the side, and someone else might be doing it too, and that's the beauty of it. If you
That's all
talk
right.
about it, you're gonna get insight. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing is really gate kept anymore, and I feel like it's not frowned upon to talk about things like it used to be, and more than likely, if you have an idea, somebody else already has it, especially nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. There's plenty of room.
But it's always a race, and I don't want to call it a race like we're always just trying to beat that guy to that visual expression being produced. But in a way, it's always a race
Yeah.
to,
Everything is.
have that thing produced visually for the first time. And
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're doing it ethically, it's not really a race. It's just, hoping
Yeah.
and having it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we all do what we can to increase our odds.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Just do what makes you happy. Exactly. I mean, ball pythons have always made me happy. And that's why when I took a hiatus in 2013 to 2017 of keeping ball pythons and I transferred over to the designer green tree python world to really just kind of focus in on that husbandry and learn as much as I could about that
Mm-hmm.
species. I never left ball pythons. I always kept up with the mutations and everything coming out. But yeah, it was like, I just I went with what made me happy, but ball pythons, no matter how much crap people talked about them, especially during that time, everybody, pet rock, nobody wants them, market's dead, blah, blah, blah. And that was like right around the market, does the second, I guess the market low before like the whole COVID thing was like 2013, 2015, right around there, would you say?
Well, I can tell you that in the year 2000, January of 2000, so what's that, 26 years now, I
Yeah, that
walked
was a
into
while
a
ago.
I walked into a reptile show. It was the first reptile show I'd ever been to. And the first booth I walked up to, I said, "Hey, have you got some ball pythons?" And their answer was, "Dude, you've missed the bus. It's the bubble has burst on that. The ball pythons are
Yeah.
worthless." That
Yeah,
was
that's
in
what everybody was
2000.
saying.
And then I walked up to another booth, and it was run. I forget who had that booth, and they said the same thing to me again. And I looked at my wife and I said, "Well, it sounds like a good time to get into ball pythons because if everybody has that attitude, there's not going to be much competition." And I was convinced that it was going to be a great pet snake. I wasn't looking at the mutations at that point. I was just looking at if I could buy normals
Yeah.
to breed
Yep.
because they were an absolutely fascinating pet as a reptile, as a
Yeah.
snake. There was nothing that even came close to them as far as their demeanor, as far as their non-threatening look, their curiosity. They're just, they were
Yeah.
charming.
Everybody can say,
Yeah,
a pet rock, and
yeah,
I quote that on the haters because everybody wants to hate on, oh, it's a pet rock, but if it wasn't a pet rock, how many people would
yeah,
be afraid of them, Oh,
absolutely.
that's not a pet rock. I'm not
Yeah,
going near that. That's a
yeah,
snake.
yeah.
It's more so like, oh, look at that. It's curled up like a little cinnamon bun. It ain't gonna hurt you.
Yeah, yeah, and I've had, people over here, friends that, they're not snake people or whatever, and I've had some people that are like, "I am absolutely petrified of snakes, absolutely petrified," and, once they get a few glasses of wine in them, 'em, I'll be like, "Hey, how about I bring a few snakes out in a, an enclosure with a lid on it, just so you can just see. And they're blown away. They're
Yeah.
because they've never witnessed the colors that they are. And pieds again are the ones that really get them. And they're like, they've got their nose pressed up against the plastic looking, and they're like fascinated. And those are the steps we need to take to educate people and to go, you know what? I'm not a snake person, but those are beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the only way to describe them.
I feel like I'm gonna be doing more myself in like my local area and everything, but I want to speak on it because the one thing that I feel this industry in general, as far as wildlife conservation goes, is lacking a lot of public, um, you know, what do you call it? Where they do like the public shows and stuff, like public education and everything. And it's not necessarily like wildlife conservation for us, but back in the day, I remember going to like the libraries, and there was always like the reptile guy once every couple months would come in and show off the Burmese and the frogs
Yeah,
and the snakes. And then you always like have a guy come to school every once in a while, and it was like somebody from the zoo or some
yeah.
wildlife guy. And it just seems like there's not as much as that of that anymore. There's not as much, mainstream TV influencing people to like and not be afraid of reptiles. Like, we lost Steve Irwin, Jeff Cohen didn't really take off when I was younger and wasn't really the favorite after like the whole Steve Irwin thing. But he did good. And then Jack Hanna was always a really good one. And
Yeah.
you had Marty Stauffer when we were real young, but and then nowadays you had like the Brian Barczyk and
Hmm.
the influencers on social media, and we've lost a lot of those influencers and a lot of those people bringing new eyes to our industry, and that's why you see more people surprised when they hear about it as well. And I think that if we care about this industry, we should be out there doing more shows and educational style things. And I know that I already tried to do that for my son's school. I'm already signed up for a presenter and everything.
Hmm.
So this school year, I'm gonna go in and hopefully do a couple presentations with them.
Well, we up here, the shows that we have up here, most of the shows are combination plant shows and reptile shows. So you've got all the plant people coming in, putting fresh eyes on the reptiles.
Oh,
Uh,
that's good.
but the bigger shows, which are usually the 2 and 3 day shows, it's dogs, cats, parrots, fish, uh,
Mm,
plants, and reptiles. So now you've got a real diverse audience
yeah.
walking through the show and checking out different things, and it gives you an opportunity to educate, and shed a positive light on some of these reptiles. So it
And I
works.
can't speak on it completely because I think there's only the one show on the West Coast that does something similar. And I think
Hmm.
that's the Pomona Plant and Reptile like Super Show.
Hmm.
I'm not from over there, so I might be butchering that, but it's like the Super Show over there where they like do the different species and different animals and stuff. It's like I feel like that's a really good thing for the industry, like getting all the different eyes and everything. And over here in
Absolutely.
the Tampa fairgrounds, typically when they have like the Repticons, there's typically like an RV show or arts and crafts show as well. So
Hmm.
you may get a little crossover, but their
Hmm.
fairgrounds are a lot bigger, so they may be on
Right.
complete opposite sides.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've
For
even
sure.
thought about like there's motorcycle festivals where people set up, tents outside and just sell little crafts or talk about their favorite things. It's like, how easy would it be just to set up out there with some snakes, not selling something, just set up out there
Yeah.
and just show
Yeah.
people, like, come ask me questions. That's it. Have a sign, come ask me questions about snakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just have some cool stuff out there that they go, wow, what is that? Why is that purple and yellow and orange?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, just different things. Always cross my mind. Tattoo expos, arts and crafts festivals. I mean, they all welcome unique, odd, and quirky things. So why wouldn't they
Oh,
welcome us?
definitely. And you know, the quirkier the person, the more open they're going to be to admiring, you know, these. I mean, look at how many people out there have snake tattoos, but they've never owned a snake,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Well, I appreciate you coming out and joining me for the Java episode,
My
Mark.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Definitely love your setup. You definitely got it going a lot better now. You got your music up top and all your paneling in, and
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
a little bit more personalized with your music and everything. I like
Hmm.
that.
Thank you.
You see me, I went a little plainer, a little more basic.
Yeah. That's all
No,
right.
I'm waiting for some banners and stuff, but
Nice.
yeah, wanted to just try something new. I'm out in the fresh air, so
There you go.
well, you have a great night.
Hmm.
If anybody has any questions about the Java mutation, make sure you drop them in the comments on this video. I will be checking back with you and we'll get them answered. Make sure you guys hit that like button for our guest Mark tonight and hit him up with any inquiries for the Java mutation. Do you have another export coming to the US anytime soon?
I'll probably be doing one in the spring. Probably, I would say April, May.
All
Yeah.
right, so now would be a great time to inquire, get some animals on a payment plan if that's your route that you have to take, and get yourself set up for some Java, some Scrambler, and some other amazing stuff directly from the man himself. So, as always, it's been an awesome time. Hope you all watching got some inspirations for some new project directions, learned some gems of information, how to identify Java a little bit and its interaction and dominance of pattern and combos, and check out all the sponsors at the beginning of the episode. If you came in late, make sure you guys go back and watch over. If you missed any of it, comment #replay gang, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.